Often when I have questions about statues, I try to imagine what the boardroom was like at that statue company when they were making decisions. For example, on this comic-based Wonder Woman statue from Queen Studio, do you think they were saying, man, we've had such success with our life-size bust of Wonder Woman based off Gal Gadot in the DCU, we should do a quarter scale. Then someone else mentions, yeah, but it takes a lot longer to get approval for an actress's likeness than it does to make a comic version. I know, let's make a comic version that looks like Gal Gadot. As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we are giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey everybody, welcome to the Extreme channel. I'm Mr. X. Today we're looking at Queen Studios' quarter scale comic version that looks just like Gal Gadot statue. Now, as a disclaimer, I don't know if that happened with Queen Studios, although recently I did hang out with Queen Studios. You can actually check out the video right here. Yeah, I was flexing a little bit. But anyway, so they've created this comic statue, and that's one reason I love it. There's a comic torso, and then there's a torso that has a strong resemblance to Gal Gadot. So to me, it's kind of the best of both worlds. I've never actually seen a quarter scale statue of Gal Gadot that I loved. You saw in the intro, I own that life-size bust. I have another life-size bust coming in right here. And then, of course, I own the J&D 84 Wonder Woman. And as a disclaimer, I did order the new J&D as well. But it's nice to have a comic version because I'm going to put her with all of my DC 1/4 scale comic pieces. That includes everything from the Justice Buster coming in to this giant Aquaman statue right here, the rest of the Justice League, and lots of villains. But I really like a lot of things they did with this, but I think there's a few negatives as well, and we're going to talk about in the Extreme review today. So let's kick it off with probably the most exciting thing about this statue, and that is the concept. They did something very incredible, and their design to it is also incredible, but in my opinion, some weird things at the same time. I don't know why I said weird like I did, but let's kick it off with concept, and I'm going to remove one of the bust displays right here. We're going to talk more about that in design. On the sub base here, you kind of have almost like a museum style. I say that because it does have the Wonder Woman symbols, has a little bit of trim gold, but then it looks like a statue or temple. So maybe this is in heritage back to the Amazonians. Maybe it's something else altogether, but I really like that. It really embodies Wonder Woman, and it is a destroyed temple. So you can imagine that there's some kind of battle that did ensue, or as we move up, we see her actually in battle right now. So we assume the battle is still going on. And I love what they did. It is one of the most action dynamic poses I've seen on a quarter scale figure, and I think it works really, really well. And one of the reasons it works really well as we move up, her entire outfit and everything about her, from her pose to the position of her arms to her weapons, really exemplify, hey, she's in midair, it's the middle of a fight, and then her very serious portrait, no matter what torso you have on there, shows that she is out to kick some ass, she's out to battle some people. I really, really like this, and there's some things that it combines with in the design we're going to talk about in a second that makes it even better. I love the concept. I give it a 5 out of 5. Props to Queen Studios. Now, design, I keep saying that there's some issues. Really, there's one major issue, which we're going to look at along with all the great things after the unboxing and assembly. Pretty small, light box, which surprised me a little bit because of the two torsos. There's instructions right on top. Here's the art box, same pose as the statue. And, of course, Queen Studios always provides a certificate of authenticity. It was one layer underneath the straps and the white foam. You can see it right here. Some things were jostled around, but no damages. All right, let's gonna assume this is the front, so we're gonna measure her. The widest point is that pillar. It's about 15 inches. The deepest part is about 11. And then the tallest part with her shield, which is a switch out option we'll look at, is just under 19 inches. So that's what's great about this piece. A really action dynamic piece, but it doesn't take up a lot of room. So as you can see, there's a lot of display options. Let's look at those really quick. First, the two different torsos. The alleged comic only one is right here. And you can switch out the arms on both of them we're going to look at. Then the one that looks more like Gal Gadot, even though they just say this is an alternate torso. And of course, they have the torso display here, which is nice. On the back of it, it does say QS for Queen Studios. So a nice little addition. Let's look at the arms, and the arms are interchangeable on either torso. First, you have an arm to the left where it's kind of a fist. Also, it's made to hold her lasso. Or you can do the shield on that one. The right arm, you can do the sword. Or the fist, which again can hold the lasso. So here's what it looks like if she's kind of holding the lasso. The lasso is pliable. So if you're really good, you can make a really dynamic stance. And here she is with the sword and shield. And again, you can switch them back and forth. Or here's a picture of the sword and then her fist. Then you can also throw her lasso on her belt. So lots of different cool display options. Now, the big elephant in the room. Her shield covers her face. You can see a tiny bit of it right there. That's about it. That is a huge design flaw in my opinion. While it looks cool with the dynamic concept, in my opinion, it's still a miss. But otherwise, I like everything else about this. I like the flow of everything. This leather, whatever it is on her body, is actually very loose, but I think that helps the flow, the dynamic flow of it. So I think the design is a 4 out of 5 on her. Now, for the purposes of paint and sculpt, I did remove the shield, which let's take a quick look at it. I like the size of it. I like the color. It doesn't look brand new, but there's no battle damage on there, so I like that. It's kind of a combo in between. I think that if it was too shiny, too new, or not enough battle damage, and the different gold colors just really pop, especially in light. The extra base, very simple, matte black. So here is the comic version, or their comic version number 1, I should say. Paint's incredibly clean. I think they did a really nice job with the paint overall, even if you look at her gauntlets, which don't have too much of a shine. And then I like they didn't go too gold on her outfit, but your traditional Wonder Woman outfit. Some good linear texture in there. You can see the mixed media strap that's on board as well. I think they did a nice job with the paint and the skin. I like the anatomy as well. She's not overly buff. Almost a hint of veins you'll see in both torsos as well. The hair looks good. I think the sculpt could have been better. It's too blobbed together for me, even though you can see the individual striations and the strands. So the portrait, I think, while the paint's really good, I think that the sculpture is just okay. I mean, it's nothing amazing, but not bad. Thankfully, she doesn't look mannish, where a lot of other companies have a real problem differentiating that. So here's the other one. You do have a different headband if you didn't notice that. So here's kind of your older comic traditional one. This is more of a modern take, I believe. I was never huge into Wonder Woman comics, other than some of the Justice League stuff she was in. So a lot of the same comments, because I think everything else is almost identical on the actual torso, other than the portraits. So we'll look at the other stuff. So this dress right here, it's more of a PVC material, kind of a flimsy plastic. So it's not mixed media necessarily, but it's not actual sculpted. It's kind of a combination of both. But just the way it flows, the checkered pattern and the gold trim really makes it stand out. Her legs, so they have some of the rocks here. Those, I like the dynamic part of it. We really didn't talk about it during concept, but they could have used a little bit more coloring and texture. You can definitely tell they were painted by somebody different. Small miss there. Again, great coloring on her legs. The armor as well. Almost has kind of that Iron Man feel on the boots. The sword looks great. You can definitely tell that it's not metal, but I'm okay with that. I like the design. Very detailed hilt. Really great job with the paint. base, I like the paint and the sculpt of it. I like the, destroyed statue, how the column, again, it kind of looks like it's moving the way they sculpted it. Some rubble on the bottom. There's a close-up of the Wonder Woman symbol. The gold trim looks nice, not too shiny. And I like this coloring they use. There's the greens and grays and dark colors in there, but it's not too dark. So really nice job. So yeah, paint I'm a big fan of. Sculpt is good, very good. I think the portraits could have been a little bit better, but not bad. And I guess that likeness is far enough away from Gal Gadot that she won't sue. You know, I always thought she didn't pronounce the T in her last name, but she was on a talk show and she actually educated people that, yes, it is kind of a soft T at the end. Let's check out her eyes really quick. Yeah, really nice paint job. So there you have it. So as I said, I like the paint better than the sculpt, so I think the paint is a 4 out of 5, especially in the portrait. They did really good. But some of the sculpt, particularly on Wonder Woman, I think could have been a little bit better. That's why that is a 3 out of 5 for the sculpt on this piece, which again still means it's good, just not way above average. Lots of bad things. Is she worth it? So she was about $950 plus a couple $100 shipping, so that's a lot for a 1/4 scale statue. A smaller statue. You get a lot of switch out options. You get an additional bust. That's kind of nice. And let's face it, who doesn't like Wonder Woman's bust? They made 2,900 of these, or just under, which is... So they're fairly easy to get despite the fact they're not licensed in this country. However, I have seen a lot of places they're either out of stock or they're charging a lot more than the original retail price. So that tells me something. So for those reasons, I give the value a 4 out of 5. I bet you I can make money if I tried to sell her right now. Now, does she have the X factor? You know what? I think she is probably the current best quarter scale Wonder Woman statue out there, although there have been some cool ones coming out lately. Super glad I got her to put her with my Justice League. I think if I could see more of her portrait, I would have given her the X Factor. But that shield, which I like to display it with the shield, I'm going to give her a 4 out of 5 overall. A very cool statue, above average. I do like it. I think Queen Studios really nailed it on that cool concept. What does everyone think? Is she the best quarter scale Wonder Woman statue? Throw that down in the comments, because it could win you a statue. We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like stuff like this, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. At the very, very least, just hit that like button. It really, really helps the channel. And it's easy. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Talk to you soon. Take care.